on Thursday bowed out of service with an appeal for less burden on the apex court, that's the Supreme Court. Former President Muhammadu Buhari appointed Ariwola as the acting CJN in June 2022 following the resignation of Justice Tanko Mohammed on health grounds. Correspondent Kulojo completes the story.
Former President Muhammadu Buhari appointed Ariwola as acting CJN in June 2022, following the resignation of Justice Tanko Mohammed on health grounds. Justice Ariwola was subsequently sworn in October of the same year following his confirmation by the Senate. Ariwola was appointed a Justice of the Supreme Court of Nigeria in 2011. He was a Justice of the Court of Appeal between 2005 and 2011, after having been elevated from the State High Court of Oyo State. In his valedictory speech, the former Chief Justice of Nigeria emphasized the need to ensure that the Supreme Court is not only unduly overburdened, adding that there's justified reasons why the National Judiciary Institute, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Justice and NBA, to host the Justice Sector Reform Summit in April.
Thereby ensuring that disputes are resolved amicably and without acrimony. More importantly, the Center will ensure that the docket of Supreme Court is not clogged with matters that could be settled amicably. It is our hope that Counsel and their clients will take advantage of the Center to ensure that their matters are resolved speedily and harmoniously without the attendant friction of litigation.
Justice Ariwola emphasized the need for required numbers of judges to be in place for the masses to have unhindered access to justice. In his remarks, the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, described Justice Olukayode Ariwola as an outstanding jurist, a communal personality who prioritized the need of the people. He said the present administration under Tinubu remained committed to changing the narrative in the judicial sector and place it as the best in the global community, while other speakers admitted that the former CJN has left an indelible mark on the sand of time, especially in the judiciary sector.
Led by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR is irrevocably committed to massively changing the course of narratives within our country's judicial sector. Nigeria's justice sector shall continue to witness several massive turnarounds, initiatives and projects that will restore, transform and reposition our justice sector and place it as the best in the global legal community.
Of the bench, you are not yet retired. We still need you so much. And I want to thank your wife, Ms. Ariwola, for looking after you for so much. For about 45 years now as a legal practitioner and as a jurist. One thing I know is that you are a very good parent. And Dr. Ariwola is a very good parent. A parent who cares about his children, about their career, about their future, about the generations yet unborn.
It must have an end. As we celebrate his lordship's amazing career and service to the nation, let me also seize the opportunity to acknowledge and appreciate his lordship's wife, children and grandchildren for their support and sacrifices all these years. We thank you for sharing your father with the nation all these years, and we now graciously release his lordship back to you so that you can catch up on all the times you missed with his lordship's company.
Ariwola turned 70 years today, and under him, the Supreme Court of Nigeria attained its full status.
The Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and the Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, has warned that the federal government would not tolerate subversion of the democratically elected government under whatever guise. Fagbemi affirmed that government will promote and uphold the fundamental right of all citizens, but insisted that any infraction or breach of same right by any person or organization under any guise except as stipulated by the Constitution will be condoned. Speaking in Abuja at the sideline of a valedictory session of the Supreme Court for Justice Olukayode Ariwola, the AGF pointed out that the recent administration has a clear mandate of the people and can only be changed at the end its tenure as prescribed by the Constitution.
Any other mode of means of attempting to change a democratically elected government, except as provided by our laws and the Constitution, is nothing but a clear case of treason and subversion of democratic governance. The laws of our land, as well as Constitution, have made copious provisions for dealing with sin and bringing the full weight of the law on such treasonable felons.
According to Fabimi, any other mood or attempt to change a democratically elected government except as provided by the Constitution is nothing but a clear case of treason and subversion of democratic governance. The AGF said that the laws of the land have made copious provisions on how to deal with treasonable acts, stressing that the full wrath of the law will catch up with such treasonable felony.
That their action in this regard amounts to hovering around the principles of contempt of court. I urge my colleagues at the subnational level, the attorneys general, to affected by the to eradicate, to educate and offer sound legal advice, even though it is tried and too elementary. It should be tried and too elementary to everybody that no appeal lies against the decision of the Supreme Court.
He reassured that the federal government is irrevocably committed to massively changing the course of narratives within the country's justice sector. Nigerians are complaining about the long queues at filling stations and the stable prices the PMS is sold at various filling stations in Lagos State. Galaxy's Bami Salako, who spoke to some motorists at different filling stations, tells us more in this report.
Lagos is an ever-busy city, with thousands of road users constantly competing in a race to get to their destination as soon as possible. So, gridlocks aren't new, but the ones occurring in the past few days is relatively new. Cars form a long progression for several meters away from any filling station ready to sell fuel. It's as though people lay in wait to welcome a prestigious personality that bestows liquid blessings. Although the dispensation of this liquid blessing is well appreciated, the price is highly frowned upon, as some filling station took advantage of the scarcity to sell at high prices. A couple of filling stations we visited were selling between 613 to 622 naira per litre. However, buyers complain of the exorbitant price they have to buy fuel in other places in Lagos State, such as Ikorodu, Aja, Ayobo, and many others who sell fuel from about 800 to 900 naira per litre.
All the Ikorodu down there, there's queue there. And then the meter, then the fuel price, 820, some they say 860, some even they say 900 from Ikorodu. So I don't know any other area. But like this place where we did for Ikeja here, then they say 6,130 for here. But I don't know about the meter.
My own experience about this fuel scarcity of it is causing most problems to this country, because some place now, if you go to some place and want to buy fuel now, some people have been selling their own fuel 950. So instead, like me, I bought fuel the day first at Aja 850 naira. Today, I bought fuel today, the same place again, 920. Why is it like that?
Some filling stations are selling in 850, 900, 950. Okay. But some are selling in 650, 630, 613.
Okay, so what is the most price you bought fuel since the started?
Most?
Yes.
950.
950 naira. Yeah. Which area is that?
Blue Shore here. This where scarcity started, we've been struggling and finding it very difficult and complicated to get fuel. You understand? So the most fuel I've bought is for 950. Yes, 950. Presently they are selling 618 here, and they are used to it, selling 618. But sometimes, if the thing comes up, they will just sell like 800, 850. But for now, these people are selling 618. But other filling stations are selling, the least you can get is 850.
Even though the NNPCL had come out to say the reason for the scarcity is due to a hitch in the discharge operations of a couple of vessels, one still wonders when the sense of normalcy would return.
This is one of the many filling stations that we have visited today, and surprisingly the price is still around 600 naira per litre, but sadly there are still some filling stations that are selling for up to 1,000 naira. And of course, this answers the question of why transport costs have gone up. But it still leaves this big question open. Why are some filling stations selling at exorbitant prices, while some are still selling at relatively cheap prices? Ireba Misalako, Galaxy TV News, Lagos.
The Delta State government has begun the demolition of houses built on water channels within Ughelli and environs. The demolition, which commenced with the demolition of 3 houses belonging to the commissioner representing Isoko ethnic nationality in the Delta State Oil Producing Areas Development Commission, is expected to last until the community is free from illegal structures. Our correspondent Dili Fasan completes the story.
Fielded questions from newsmen on the demolition exercise, the chairman, Delta Task Force on Illegal Structure, Chief Frank Omare, said the demolition exercise will not be compromised and the demolition of houses belonging to the Delta Commissioner.
Well, there are 2 things that is going to happen to the people, the good people of Ughelli. One is to open the water blocked area. So many houses, has blocked the water channels. One of them, we all know our brother, the last Mugu. He is a member of top government functionary. He built on water channel. We have brought the house down. So we appeal to all residents in Ughelli to cooperate.
Also speaking, the chairman, Ughelli North Local Government, Chief Jaru Ebo, said the council had declared war against structures on waterways, as the affected commissioner said the demolition of his home will serve as a deterrent to others.
But most of our drains are covered. That is why we have declared war on those people trading on our drains. People who are built on top of our drains. We've been doing that for the past last week to date, and this is the end result. We were shocked that the shop fair was built on top of drain. And that's why we see water flooding that area, that axis of the town.
Development, to me, it is so painful to some persons that they have a wonderful building such as mine. And you see, today I'm a victim, but I'm the one encouraging people to take it as it is because we have to sacrifice. In fact, my building, about 3 of my buildings are affected.
As the rains continue in several parts of Ughelli and environs, it is believed that the opening of water channels will help in reducing the impact of flooding in the Delta community. From Delta State, Dele Fason reporting for Galaxy TV News.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News, and coming up next. Nigerians appeal to the federal government to stop the implementation of the hike in prices of the Nigerian passports. Details of these and more we come to you shortly. Do stay with us. We're glad to have you back now. For more updates and latest news, please visit our website www.galaxytvonline.com. Connect with us on our X handle at Galaxy TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/GalaxyTVNews. You can follow and interact with us on our Facebook page, facebook.com/GalaxyTV. Don't forget to follow and tag us on our Instagram page at Galaxy TV. You can also avail our eyewitness feature via WhatsApp. If you have breaking news around you, simply share a story by sending short clips or videos of the news on 0818-666-669. Our social media platforms are user-friendly and can always accommodate your live update and comment. The All Progressive Congress-led Caretaker Committee Chairman in Rivers State, Tony Okocha, has announced that the party will not participate in the October 5, 2024 local government elections. Disclosing the development during an enlarged APC stakeholders meeting in Port Harcourt, the state capital, Okocha said the processes of conducting the election did not follow the law. The meeting was attended by leading members of the party in the state, including its former chairman, Ojukaye Amachere, and Senator Wilson Ake, amongst others. He said the party had gone to court to stop all the processes of conducting the local government election.
The law says 3 months of the expiration of the life of a chairman or tenure of the council, that the electoral body, so to speak, should organize election. The process should commence, timetable released, and all that. Then 21 days inside that 3 months, elections should hold. My dear people, the last law now as we speak, or what they are doing today as we speak, last week of October as we're talking about, will not work.
While insisting that the party in the state would no longer allow itself to be dragged into the opposition, Okocha accused the Beke-led faction of the party of working in synergy with the state government to oust the committee. Some party stakeholders also urged other factional members to close ranks and join the approved EXCO by NWC to move the party forward.
I didn't sack him, I didn't contest election with him. Members of his state working committee first, that he presides, invited him to answer the questions of antipathy. Himself and the legal advisor, they refused. They wrote and wrote again, the people met and suspended them.
As chairman of this party, we had crisis under my leadership as well. We had the Magnus faction, then even my friend Tunu Kocha was there. So we had all those issues. And at some point in time, the National Working Committee of our party looked at the whole scenario in River State and said, look, we can't be having all of this problem. For that reason, they are going to dissolve my executive and appoint the capital.
It will be difficult not to be happy as members of MPC, because so far we have the president of this country who have taken so much interest in the affairs of River State. The appointment of Chief Eyesomike to that very exalted position in Abuja tells it all. It shows that he has admiration and love for the people of River State.
The Caretaker Committee Chairman also disclosed that recently his position was renewed by the National Working Committee, NWC, adding that his tenure will expire on December 5th, 2024. Public health experts have united in a powerful call for needed regulatory action to address the health risk associated with the billion-cube fortification in the country. The experts urged the government to ensure that food producers did what they should to make people aware of food fortification They made the call on Thursday in Abuja at a press briefing organized by Corporate Accountability and Public Participation Africa (CAPA) with the theme Salt Targets in Nigeria. The event featured nutrition and food experts, health activists who urged the government to accelerate preliminary activities for salt-sodium regulation in Nigeria. Keynote speaker and technical advisor, the Network for Health Equity and Development, Dr. Jeremy Mafeni, raised alarm about Nigeria's food system, warning that the excessive sodium content in the product poses significant risk to human health. He condemned the MSG secrecy, noting that consumers need an informed decision on what they want to eat.
Certain industry players and their co-travelers are disseminating unverified scientific information, false research claims, and spreading deceptive marketing information through social media influencers to promote monosodium glutamate, MSG, and bullion as nutritious, safe, and healthy for human consumption, without also informing consumers that these products contain harmful quantities of sodium, which could lead to hypertension, heart, and kidney failure.
We call attention to the alarming trend of using high sodium foods such as bouillon cubes as vehicles for fortification. While fortification aims to address micronutrient deficiencies, the excessive sodium content in these products poses significant health risk. High sodium intake is a well-established risk factor for hypertension, cardiovascular diseases, and other non-communicable diseases, which are becoming increasingly prevalent in Nigeria.
Given that Nigeria already has a mandatory salt iodization program, we are actually proposing that we're advocating that we do not go ahead, the National Fortification Alliance and all competent agencies sit together, collaborate and work together to come up with effective policy decisions that will help Nigeria to reduce their sodium intake, because already we're in a very bad place.
Nigerians from all walks of life have appealed to the federal government to stop the implementation of the hike in prices of Nigerian passport. This was made known to our news correspondent Shegun Falomo in Ibadan, Oyo State capital, when he sought the views of citizens on the new development. They stressed that the 42 increment will further add hardship to the existing challenges confronting Nigerians and the country. It will be recalled that the statement was issued on the 21st of August 2024, stating the 32-page passport booklet with 5 years validity previously charged at 35,000 naira will now be 50,000 naira only, while 64-page passport booklet with 10 years validity, which was 70,000 naira, will now be 100,000 naira only.
Obvious now that they don't want to leave anything for the common man to enjoy. And worse still, they don't want us to leave this country, yet they don't want us to make headway in our own fatherland. 32 pages of, this is not the first time they are increasing it, but I don't know why they are making this public. In Senate climb, just one card is enough to go to cover for international passport, to cover for NIN, to cover for BVN and every other thing. Once you have that card, all your information is available on the database of all necessary security agents.
At this time, one begins to question the empathy of the government. Well, some may say even the immigration service itself maybe is now having a new mandate, or now has a new target in terms of generating revenue, and probably they are also compelled.
They should please help us reduce it so that people that don't really have much and have the intentions of getting it, now that the price has gone up, it will be a bit difficult for them to get it. So the federal government should please help us reduce the price a bit back, or back to the normal amount.
While looking at the memo, they said for quality and integrity. And the question we have to ask is, what happened to the quality and the integrity of the former price. So is it that they were not giving us something of quality and integrity before? And I don't know why all the policies of the Nigerian government under this administration is just to bring hardship to Nigerians.
The National Assembly has assured its availability for partnership that will ensure optimal participation and representation of women in all sectors of the national economy. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, gave the assurance at a one-day national summit on women inclusion held in Abuja on Thursday. Honorable Abbas, who was represented by Chairman Women in Parliament Taiba Fatima, said that women are not just passive participants in the society, but are vital contributors to economic growth, social development, and community resilience, adding that women's voices must be amplified and their contributions recognized. Stressing the need for women inclusion in politics and governance in Nigeria, he stated that women cannot be overstated given the strides achieved by them in various sectors across the nation.
Advocacy drive through the implementation of relevant programs and activities that will bring about the desired results. Let me ensure that the 10th House of Representatives is available for any partnership that will ensure the optimal participation and representation of women in all sectors of our national economy.
To come together to discuss the need for the inclusion of women in the scheme of affairs, especially in our great nation, Nigeria. Going by what we see and hear of what His Excellency does to humanity, I want to re-inform you that he is an advocate of women inclusion. General?
That means this is an advancement where everybody is expected to have a kind of skill and knowledge and put everything together to ensure a sustainable development. In a situation where we have about 49.5% of the population being women, and in this fast pace of development process, we have barely 10% or less than that percentage of women, either in governance position, elected position, or even in executive positions, either private or public positions.
The Nigerian Defense Academy played host to the Honorable Minister of Women Affairs, Barrister Uju Kennedy, who visited the institution to engage with female officers, cadets and civilian staffs. The visit marked a significant milestone in the effort to empower and support women in the armed forces. During the address, the commandant of the NDA highlighted the substantial progress made in the training and integration of women in the armed forces. The Honorable Minister said that she will continue to stand for justice and equality for women and children in the country. She also expressed her ministry's eagerness to collaborate with the institution.
That the Nigerian Defense Academy stand on the pillars of equality, inclusiveness, and diversity in whatever we do. The fact that we have female cadets before you who will be officers of the armed forces of the Federal Republic of Nigeria testify to that fact. The Nigerian Defense Academy is proud to be at the forefront of equality, inclusiveness, and diversity in our nation. We recognize that the military has traditionally been a male-dominated institution, but we are committed to changing this narrative.
That as Minister of Women Affairs, I came with about 5 or 8 things to do, and I know those things I don't want to do. I came to empower women, to build back their self-confidence, to fight for their rights and protection and justice, because when there are no consequences, if there were no consequences in army wouldn't be what they are today that everybody is proud of.
The visit underscores a growing importance placed on gender mainstreaming in the military as the NDA and the Ministry of Women Affairs forge a strategic partnership to advance the critical agenda. The collaboration aims to promote gender equality, enhance the participation of women in the armed forces, and support their career advancement. Highlights of the event included an inspection of the Quarter Guard, a tour of Navy Simulation Center, Land Forces Simulation Center, and other facilities. The minister also witnessed a combat swimming display.
Motivation, I have no doubt that these cadets behind us will work hard to aspire to be the best and to fulfill their God-given potentials. Like I was discussing with the Honorable Minister, in our lifetimes we'll begin to see women commanding Air Force bases, naval bases, becoming brigade commanders and even general officer commanding. And in not too distant future, we'll one day see a female as a service chief in Nigeria.
I am so satisfied, but I'm Oliver Twist. I'm asking for more. I'm still asking for 35% affirmative. But so far, I applaud Army. I am so happy. Look at them. Just take a look at the innocent faces I am seeing here. And I can assure you, any day there are commanders somewhere, of which I've heard some of them are already, you will see a huge difference.
Nigeria's First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has empowered 1,000 petty women traders in Delta State as part of the ongoing federal government grant for small, medium enterprises across the 36 states of the country. The event, which was held at the event center in Asaba, the Delta State capital, saw women in their hundreds gather at the auditorium to receive the First Lady. Correspondent Dele Fason tells us more.
Of the challenges faced by small and medium enterprises, especially the petty traders, who form the backbone of our local economies. These challenges, however, have not deterred the strength of our women. I salute you all and celebrate your courage and resilience that keep you going to put food on the table for your families. Today, through the Renewed Hope Initiative Economic Empowerment Program, we are providing 1,000 pre-selected women petty traders per state with a grant of 50,000 naira each.
Through the Umata Charity Foundation, where everybody is somebody, I have empowered and support rural market women, initiated free medical care for the elderly, and at the core of my foundation, I am providing support for autistic children and children with autism. My biggest prayer that your Renew Hope initiative will achieve its aim and bring more sunshine to Nigerians.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's First Lady and Chairman of the Renewed Hope Initiative, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has flagged off the Renewed Hope Initiative Economic Empowerment Program for women petty traders nationwide with a disbursement of 50,000 naira, a business recapitalization grant to 37,000 beneficiaries across the country. She flagged off the disbursement of the grant in Asaba Delta State capital, where 1,000 petty traders benefited from the scheme. As one of the interventions under the Economic Empowerment Program of RHI, the grant, she says, is targeted at helping petty traders overcome some of their business challenges, create more jobs and expand the contributions of the informal sector to the national economy, while identifying economic empowerment as a core objective, which the Renewed Hope Initiative had consistently delivered on for both women and youth across the 6 geopolitical zones of Nigeria to support the economic reforms of the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The First Lady also noted that empowering women economically is not just a moral imperative, but a strategic one.
I am honored to be here today at the empowerment program of 1,000 women petty traders across the nation as part of our continued commitment to drive economic growth towards a better life for families. This event is taking place simultaneously across the 36 states of the Federation and the Federal Capital Territory. I bring you warm greetings to the good people of Delta State from my husband, His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
You're still on to Galaxy Primetime News. We'll quickly take a break and when we return, the news continues. To stay with us. Be right back. Now to other stories. Governor Hyacinth Ali of Benue State says the state government has concluded arrangement to recruit 9,700 teachers to close existing gap in student-teacher ratio in the state. The governor said additional teachers will enhance teaching and learning in public schools in the state, stressing that the gesture will not only provide employment for qualified youth, but also enable the government to deliver one of its core campaign promises of revolutionizing the education sector. The governor further said the measure will address the shortage of primary and secondary school teachers and enhance the quality of learning in the state. Governor Alia called for the setting up of Young Farmers Club across the state to promote the engagement of the state youth population in agricultural production, adding that his government will support the clubs to access farmland, tractors, fertilizers and other input. He said this is aimed at ensuring that people of the state have food is self-sufficient. And now we'll move over to the foreign desk for more news.
This is news from the international scene. A crew of 25 has been rescued from a Greek-flagged oil tanker after it caught fire after multiple attacks in the Red Sea. The Soy Union was attacked by more than a dozen people on two small boats who fired multiple projectiles at the ship when it was about 77 nautical miles west of Yemen's port city of Odeida. The Greek Shipping Ministry and the United Kingdom Maritime Trade Operations (UKMTO) said. There was a brief exchange of fire and the ship reported another attack that caused the fire and led the vessel to lose engine power and its ability to maneuver. On Thursday, the European Union's Red Sea Naval Mission said it responded to a request from the shipping company and the vessel's captain and dispatched a unit to provide protection to the crew of 23 Filipinos and 2 Russians. The crew abandoned the vessel and were rescued by the EU mission, an official told newsmen. There was no reports of injuries. Thailand on Thursday confirmed Asia's first known case of a new deadlier strain of Mpox in a patient who had travelled to the kingdom from Africa. The patient landed in Bangkok and was sent to hospital with Mpox symptoms. The Department of Disease Control said laboratory tests on the 66-year-old European confirmed he was infected with Mpox clade 1b, the department said in a statement, adding that the World Health Organization would be informed of the development. The World Health Organization has declared a global public health emergency after the new variant of Mpox, urging manufacturers to ramp up production of vaccines. The disease, caused by virus transmitted by infected animals but passed from human to human through close physical contact, causes fever, muscular aches and large boil-like skin lesion. While Mpox has been known for decades, a new deadlier and more transmissible strain known as Clade B1 has driven the recent surge in cases. Clade 1b causes death in about 3.6% of cases, with children more at risk, according to the World Health Organization. Dong Chai, head of the Thai Department of Disease Control, said that Mpox was much less likely to spread rapidly than COVID-19 because of the close contact needed to catch it. Gunmen opened fire on a school bus in Pakistan on Thursday, killing 2 girls and wounding 5 other children, police said. The attack occurred in the town of Attock in the central province of Punjab when the children were traveling to attend classes in the morning, police official Usman Haider said. All of the dead and wounded children were aged between 5 and 10, Haider added. Haider said the motive of the crime was not immediately known, but the preliminary investigation pointed towards a feud between 2 families. Pakistani President Ali Zardari condemned the incident and ordered police to capture the gunmen. Still on the international scene, 3 Palestinians have been killed in an Israeli air attack on a house in the Tulkarem refugee camp in the occupied West Bank, the Palestinian Ministry of Health say. People inside the refugee camp says the Israeli army has set fire to some of the homes and the civil defense teams are not being allowed in to put out the fires. The aerial attack on Thursday came as the Qassam Brigades, the military wing of Hamas, said fighters from its Tulkarem battalion clashed with Israeli soldiers in the camp and detonated explosive devices targeting military vehicles. The Israeli military deployed snipers on roofs and sent in bulldozers to destroy infrastructure. The Israeli military said its aircraft struck several militants in Tulkarem as ground forces searched for buried explosives. Dozens of buildings were destroyed in the operation and at least 1 Israeli soldier was wounded. A total of 25 Palestinians, including 2 women and a child, were arrested overnight and through Thursday morning across the West Bank. Meanwhile, Israeli police arrested 4 Israeli settlers accused of taking part in a deadly rampage in the West Bank village of Jit last week, which drew international condemnation. Thousands of Palestinians fled parts of Deir el-Balah in the Gaza Strip as the Israeli military issued new evacuation orders as its forces advanced deeper into the overcrowded central city. The area was previously designated by Israel as a so-called humanitarian safe zone for civilians, but the Israeli army ordered residents, many of them displaced multiple times already, to leave before a new military operation there. Israeli military spokesman Avichai Andrei said certain neighborhoods in Deir el-Balah were now deemed a dangerous combat zone, calling on residents to move westward ahead of an imminent attack in the area. The warning has forced thousands of civilians to flee on foot, carrying small bags and some basic belongings such as blanket, bedding and a little food, witnesses said. Lastly, on the international scene, Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is planning to drop his bid to become the next president of the United States and endorse Republican Party nominee Donald Trump, U.S. media has reported. Kennedy, the 3rd child of liberal icon Robert F. Kennedy, is considering announcing the end of his campaign during an appearance with Trump in Phoenix, Arizona on Friday. Kennedy, who initially ran for the Democratic Party nomination before going independent, could boost Trump's chances in November's election if he drops out, especially in battleground states that were won by razor-thin margins in 2016 and 2020. Public opinions have consistently shown Kennedy, an environmental lawyer and long-term vaccine skeptic, drawing more support from Trump than the Democratic nominee, Vice President Kamala Harris. 33% of registered Republican voters expressed a positive view of the Kennedy scion, compared with just 15% of registered Democrats and independents. While Kennedy never looked likely to challenge Harris or Trump for the White House, his campaign attracted double-digit support in polling at its peak before dropping to about 5% in recent weeks. And that's it from the international scene.
And I'll move over to entertainment news. Welcome to Entertainment News. My name is Rose Blossom. Good morning. Here are the first stories of our story. Seun Egbegbe, a Nollywood filmmaker who regained freedom from prison in 2022, has opened on his time in detention. He revealed that though he has done better things in the past, he has never killed someone. He revealed that famous people were brought to the cell where he was, including ex-governor Fauci, former INEC chairman Momfa, and more. He disclosed that in 2020 they didn't appear in court throughout the year because of COVID. He praised the Redeemed Christian Church of God for caring for them in prison, as he recounted how they fed him and 3,000 inmates every Sunday. He also admonished citizens to flee from any crime. Nigerian singer Dami Crane has been arrested and is said to face criminal charges over his false allegation against his colleague Davido. It reported that days before Davido's wedding, Dami had called the singer a murderer, as he claimed that Davido was only getting married because Chioma caught him cheating. His statement had gotten him into trouble, as Davido's lawyer gave him 24 hours to retract all offensive publications against Davido on his social media handles. He was also asked to refrain from further publication of defamatory statement against Davido on any platform or risk facing legal actions. Unbothered with the lawsuit, Dami Crane further alleged that he was a witness to what Davido did to late Tagbo, who was his friend. Now it was learnt that the singer will face criminal charges for defamatory statement and slanderous publications against the singer. Taking to his Twitter page, Dami Crane urged netizens to hold Davido responsible if anything happens to him. He claimed that the music star had paid people to arrest him, as he alleged that he wrote a petition lying that he was into flutterwave and crypto scams just to arrest him. He pointed out how what they did to Mohbad was happening to him, as he called for justice. Nigerian rapper and reality TV star Laycon has taken to social media to call out famous disc jockey DJ Neptune over alleged debt following their collaboration. It will be recalled that the Big Brother Naija lockdown winner collaborated with DJ Neptune on the Nobody remix featuring Joe Boy and Mr. Easy just after winning the reality show. In a recent post, Laycon called out the famous DJ, requesting updates on their agreement and his cut after 4 years of working together. Adekunle Gold had some good news to share on Instagram recently, and it was in relation to his album Volume 1, which he released a few years ago. The Volume 1 album created a huge shift in Adekunle Gold's career as he gained a broader fan base. This album sounded different from his other works, and he also switched up his appearance as he leaned more into alternative fashion.
And that'll be all on entertainment news. Thank you.